It is the last game of the regular season, ladies and gentlemen, and all the seedings and the placings of the Academy standings are finalized. So, as Smack said before, technically this game doesn't have that much stake at the ready, but it's okay. We're still going to get one last game to send us off and celebrate an awesome and incredible Academy regular season. And, you know, for Dignitas QNTMPAY Academy, like we said before, they had nothing to lose. They're already going to Unified Grand Prix for the qualifier as the 9th seed. For them to show this type of strategic gameplay and this type of a performance, especially off of the back of Will, who, when we talked to Invert about a couple weeks ago, the main idea was that, you know what, we know Will is a green jungler and he is coming in mainly with solo queue tendencies. Our goal for him is that even if playoffs isn't achieved by us, we need to get him up to speed and in a comfortable position by the time we get to whether if it's the playoffs or if it's the Unified Grand Prix. And if Will is able to pull off a performance like this, then I think Dignitas QNTMPAY Academy are going to be in a great spot going into the Tier 1 qualifier next month.
From where I'm sitting, that goal is being achieved. Of course, it's off the back of other plays like we just saw right there from Lorlos, bringing a veteran presence to the squad, and clearly a mechanical one as well. Excellent engage from him. But yeah, Will performing very well at all aspects of the game in this one. Really enjoying his gameplay over the last couple of weeks. And us, yeah, for them going into Unified Grand Prix, teams are going to have to be pretty careful when they play against this guy. Will and the rest of his team as well, when they are so willing to buy in to very mechanical, very young, very talented junglers. I mean, we've seen what happens with teams like that over the course of the past few years in North America. I'm thinking like when Cloud9 initially got contracts, when they initially got Blabber, Spica on TSM, and if you go down to the Proving Ground space, Envy on 100 Thieves next. So this is definitely a formula that has been proven to work in North America, and it's been working very well with Will.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Smacks. You know, when Dignitas were looking for their jungler replacement, you know, we thought of many junglers already existing in semi-pro. We're thinking, okay, maybe they might grab X jungler, and they might grab this one. And then we saw the graphic, please welcome Will. And we're like, who?
Play emotional.
Play emotional. We haven't seen him in semi-pro. And, yeah, you know, we've seen him on solo queue streams, but we were just like, okay, well, what's the theory behind that? But you know what? Much credit and props to Dignitas for being able to pull off a performance against one of the best Academy teams here in 100 Thieves. It's a great feat. And going into this final game here, I'm curious to see what is going to be the last approach from both of these teams. Like Dignitas technically already had nothing to lose, so they might still go standard, and 100 Thieves have nothing to change at this point, so it can just be a glorified scrim. It can, or we might see some fun picks here on the Rift Smacks. I'm hoping for fun
on one
picks.
hand, killing the enemy team's Nexus is very there's not a lot of feelings that are better than that in League of Legends. It feels great. On the other, though, Ultimate Bravery does sound like a nice time.
So, wait, we're not advocating for Ultimate Bravery. That's too far. That's too far. I think Ultimate Bravery completely eradicates your ability to want to win. But I think you can go for niche picks and still try to, like, if you want to bring out a strategy that might want to practice. I mean, that you're not afraid to show, or if you just want to. I mean, we saw the Fizz hover from Soligo. I'm down for some Fizz, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching the other Academy games as well, maybe this is a time to try out other picks that seem to be working for other teams. I'm talking about like the Lilia top for TN on CLG. That was really fun. That's a nice counter pick into the tanks up on top lane. And this is just a glorified scrim, then that's what scrims are for. Trying new stuff. Now, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We do want to see what's actually holding here for us in the draft. We're going to be getting into that one pretty soon, and yeah, we'll have to find out which teams are feeling adventurous and which ones are just trying to get the last dub of the split.
You know what, Smacks? I just realized something. There is one last stake to be had for both of these teams. The prize for winning this match. Ready? Ready, Smacks? Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. I think I know what you're going to say.
They get to have a lovely interview with us at the end of the series. So, one of these lucky contestants will be able to interview with your hosts, Rafa and Smacks, here on the Academy stream.
Spin the wheel. which of your 5 players on the winning team will be able to talk with us lovely onesie-wearing caster?
See, when you put it like that, now they might want to lose to get away from
It went from spin the wheel to Russian roulette real quick. We're into the draft. Feeling very standard so far. We're still missing the Thresh band and also the Diana band from last game. We'll see if the Thieves want to be going for that. Yep, there it is.
Ready to run back.
Yep. We'll see if the things like the Kalista, the Lee Sin come through again. Lee Sin was the first pick for Dignitas last game.
Do Dignitas give away the Lee Sin? Let Kenvi have the Lee Sin this time around? And experiment with some other picks? Or do we see a run back? I mean, I'm down for whatever. Okay.
Run back it is.
Tenacity. See,
you're getting baited by
he's feeling it.
hovers.
I know, man.
Fully baited. We've talked about this. But yeah, Will back on the Lee Sin is really cool. I really enjoyed his gameplay the last game, and it's looking like 100 are thinking about going for the same run back as well. Ryoma had a nice game on the Syndra, and Luger on the Varus as well. So pretty much just a repeat so far.
Nothing wrong with that at all. You know, 100 Thieves Academy and Dignitas, it's still stage time, right? So this is great. This is an opportunity for them to just get more practice and more reps in. So I am completely down. As so far, Dignitas QNTMPAY, if they see the same picks from 100 Thieves, then they're just going to run back what worked for them last time. And we have to keep in mind that it was an advantage built up through the bottom side of the map. JJ waiting, lying in wait for Luger to step up on the Varus, chunking him out slowly, and then building up that slow push before Will pathed from top to bot into that slow push into dive, and getting spawned off to the races. Now, I'm curious to see if we see a change going into the second round of pick and bans here, Smacks.
I kind of hope we don't get any changes at all.
Complete salty run back?
Yeah, I'm feeling it from 100 Thieves right now.
Super Smash Brothers vibes right now.
I'm feeling like they really just want to play the exact same 5 champions against the exact same 5 champions. Okay. So not Twisted Fate, but
there's the change.
Yeah, 100 could still go for the same composition on their side if they want.
It's true. Maybe not the Gangplank R5, depending because now that might change up what Lorlo locks in. 100 Thieves Academy.
Ooh, I like that.
They're gonna change up their support pick instead of the Nautilus. Lock in this role instead.
I like that a lot. We already heard from Ayla how this champion's a lot stronger on this patch, and it is a nice response into Leona too. So this is feeling like a pretty strong pick. I'm again sad that we're not getting the full salty run back. 100, this makes a lot of sense. I want to try this new champion, and I can't blame him. It looked very good when Ayla played it just a couple of games ago. For Dignitas, though, they're still thinking of blinding this Gnar, and Lorlo looked really good on that in that team fight.
Very true. Massive Gnar ultimate into the wall. Follow-up from JJ was great. Oh, do it. Please. I will hold my breath. As 100 Thieves, we did see a Zed from Triple in FlyQuest's game against EG, and okay, Orianna still a cool pick. You can get the 3K Elo Shockwaves. Faker has made a name for himself in getting those down. Now 100 Thieves Academy, if they wanted to go back to something, okay, all right. Camille will be Tenacity's counter pick of choice instead of the Gangplank. You got more lockdown potential thanks to the Hextech Ultimatum, and you can dive and punish the Gnar early on. So I wonder if 100 Thieves Academy go for an aggressive start, similar to what Dignitas did to the bottom side, but towards low.
We'll find out, as there are only 2 champions that are different in this. And the biggest thing that tells me is that Dignitas really want to go for the same level of aggression with Will and Jade. Now, if they want to do that top lane, they still can do that, but it does leave Spawn a little bit out to dry, who wasn't really the flashiest member of this team in the early game, but he did participate in a lot of those kills, and he did get very fed for the team fights later on.
So, to clarify, I meant that while Dignitas go for their bottom lane strategy, Tenacity and Kenvi slow push on the top side and look to punish Gnar. Because, you know, one of the things that we look at Gnar matchups, especially when you have like a Renekton, you can just set this Gnar up for a very not fun time in the laning phase. If you're able to burn that hop early and then build up a huge wave, and you have Kenvi Q or point and click stun into hookshot from Tenacity, you have a bunch of CC and damage early on to be able to lock down Lorlo for kills. So 100 Thieves, I mean, when you think about Kenvi and Tenacity coming from 100 Thieves next, as a duo, they have played very strongly around each other. And then I would not be surprised if that is the game plan.
Ryoma's got a lot of Yumi emotes. We'll see if he has the same ease of access to this mid lane as he did in the last one, where they did dive Soligo for first blood. And Ryoma's team fights were really good. I enjoyed the Scatter of the Weeks a lot in those team fights. And when you're paired up with another immobile carry like this Varus, the Scatter of the Week is so important at denying away the crowd control from all other sources, really. Every single dive member is potentially stifled by the Scatter of the Week, and it leads to interesting situations where you kind of want to stack Luger and Ryoma on top of each other, but it leaves you vulnerable to things like Solar Flare at that point. So it's a double-edged sword.
100 Thieves starting on the bottom side of the map, Will starting on the top side, as we suspected, Kenvi wanting to path towards top lane against Lorlo, and Will wanting to path towards Spawn and JJ. Expect to see around the 3.5 minute mark some similar potential slow push dives, as Poom is going to go for the initial engage on the JJ with the Pheromancy. Able to chunk out Spawn and JJ 200 health respectively, as both of them will start sipping on potions right now.
I think Kenvi is a bit ahead in the jungle here so far against Volibear, clearing out those camps slightly quicker. Took out the wolf camp as he's on his way to Raptors. You can also see these pinging out exactly where Will is with his pings. We didn't get to see too many of them, but hey, he's on wolves. Hey, he's going to red buff right now, and you can see on the other side Will thinking that he is in fact going over there. Kenvi's predictions are exactly
did you see that?
on.
So, nice thing from Will. The communication from Soligo said that Ryoma probably went for a ward on your Raptors, so don't enter through that bush. You have to swing around and go to red buff to try and deny as much vision as possible. 100 Thieves can still technically guess where they are at, but because he is able to sneak through that fog, now he needs to make sure he has the hug at the very corner of the wall to not be spotted, as
He did it.
And now Ryoma, I mean, either he has to know that Will is on the bottom side of the map and not play towards it, but still, being in fog and denying as much information as possible, as Luger, once again, getting chunked out. Ignite is ticking away. Gonna force him back. Sub 200 HP. Will still on the bottom side of the map, looking for the Scuttle Crab and the slow push dive, as it's gonna be a little late, though. By the time Will finishes, the crash is already there.
I find it really interesting that ward didn't spot Will. And I am sure that the 100 Thieves members are going to find it interesting when they rewatch this VOD. They're like, guess I have to ward that a little bit further to the right. So
One Teemo to the right.
Yeah. But Will back to farming. All right there. Kenvi knows that the Raptors are still up, and might want to go try to.
Wait, it didn't spot the ward right there. Right behind Kenvi. Yeah. Oh no.
So they know he's here. The information game is so interesting. I don't think they can punish him, though, because Soligo is completely out of mana, and Will doesn't want to fight a Volibear at level 4. Might want to fight the bottom lane, though. He's setting up in the Alcove. Alcove Gaming.
Kenvi is making his way towards over here, but
Oh!
Will is here for the counter gank, but it's a beautiful Ferromancy set up from the rest of Dignitas, but it doesn't matter as the damage is so much from Spawn. He's able to pick up first blood before Kenvi equalizes. It's now Will, and a teleport answer from Ryoma is going to dissuade further aggression from Dignitas. Soligo also answering with a teleport.
Ryoma's Scatter of the Week's getting me hyped. This guy is so good at these stuns. Doesn't quite find a kill yet. Oh, does he cancel the recall?
Oh, wait, he can kill him!
Oh no, JJ!
Tommy Lee, baby.
Feels bad. Wanted to recall.
Well, feels bad for JJ and Dignitas, but feels pretty nice for 100 Thieves. And now this is a huge wave that is being built up. Soligo trying to pick it up, but won't be able to, as now there are 4 members potentially threatening this crash, and Luger going to be able to solo a majority of these plates gold, which is a huge swing and a change from how Luger was feeling around this time in Game 1.
I like Spawn's decision to go straight to mid lane, though. Just crashing that wave punishes Ryoma for sticking around and finding that kill. Punishes him as much as he possibly could, anyway. Finding the kill on JJ is certainly going to be worth it, but Spawn getting the wave is going to be nice. This play right off the bat from Poom is so good, because it forces Spawn to use his summoner spells, and it forces the members of Dignitas on the back foot, but at this point of the game, Kenvi is not as tanky as he would like to be. Sort of one of the things that happens with your mentality when you do go for a salty run back is you reach the peak of your champion's power, the end of the last game, and then you got to go right back to the trough. Oh, I'm not as tanky as I thought I was.
Oh, I don't attack as fast as I thought I did.
Yeah, for AD carry it feels terrible.
Oh yeah, that's always like the worst feeling is when you have a bunch of attack speed near the late game and you're just like pew 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 pew. You go back to the beginning of the next game and you're like, ugh, so slow.
I wonder.
So slow.
I wonder if that's just like something that is just us, or if that is something that people also agree with. Because I know that the two of us are very like musical people. And I know, like, for me, I always get into the rhythm when I'm playing a champion, like Kalista.
Yeah.
I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I, like, keep time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's something that's, I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe people can confirm whether or not that's something that AD carries feel, but it definitely feels bad for me. That's why I don't play the role anymore.
That's why you let Alk Battery play the role
Yep.
instead.
I'll play Senna, though. Senna's fun.
100
Same
Thieves
attack speed for the whole game.
are having to set up this mid-wave push. There is no dragon to fight over, but a Rift Herald will spawn in the next 30 seconds. It's 100 Thieves. You want to go back over to Luger's side of the map as he's getting pushed in by Spawn. Will is already there looking for a blue buff steal. Kenvi is able to get the smite down, however.
Kenvi just activated his Chilling Smite now, so we'll have the extra slow there. Will, of course, back to Skirmisher's Saber. Burn damage. Putting in a lot of work, actually. He found that extra kill on Luger because of it, so go back to that. Even though 100 Thieves do have that early advantage, this is again a situation where these two teams are battling it out neck and neck in the early game. It's been very entertaining to watch. And Tenacity has a nice freeze in the top lane, too. So we just saw our camera pan up there. He's down a little bit of CS, but this Camille is the main difference for 100 Thieves, as opposed to the previous game. And he's going to have to be very potent on these side lanes if this pick is going to work out like they want it to.
Woo! Ryoma says, no thank you, Will. You will not resonating strike and lease into my heart anytime soon.
And Ryo is just so good at the Scout of the Week. Really love watching him work with his ability. And he's slightly ahead in this mid lane. Honestly, the mid lane farm is quite low, but it's just because they've been able to roam around a lot. His top lane might be the answer for 100.
Will is just waiting in the wings. He's going to be able to book it over to Lorlo. Gets the flash in, gets a nice stun into the wall, gets the hop away, and now Will is here. Probably not going to be able to clean up 1v2 against... Yeah. It's,
yeah.
That is a scary bear that Kenvi has.
Both flashes used on Dignitas' side, and Tenacity can be able to stick around. Potentially can go for this Rift Herald. Soligo even recalling, so it's going to be even easier for them to do locking that one down. Dignitas did get the first dragon of the game. We mentioned that earlier, but good to bring up now as we're taking stock of the neutral objective game that's been going on. Trade of bot and top side. And this Rift Herald, we'll see where they want to use it, or if they can even get it, as Will and Laurel are all back.
There is no Hextech Ultimatum. There is no Stormbreaker either, as a 2v2 all-in will break out. Luger is once again the victim of the entire skirmish here. Spawn using the Fate's Call beautifully, getting JJ out and away from the turret aggro, as Will faces an unleashed power to the face, as Poom trying to find an equalize one back over 200 Thieves, but it's all for naught because Spawn picks up a glorified double for himself and Dignitas. And once again, we are seeing similar results here, Smacks. Bottom side going towards the favor of Dignitas, 100 Thieves being able to equalize on the top side of the map.
This time, Spawn is the one getting all of these kills, and this time, specifically, it's been the isolated 2v2 that Spawn and JJ were able to do that. Very impressive stuff. Again, we are seeing that these AD carries are not really wanting to take the cleanse, and in situations like that where Leona's landing the crowd control from afar on you, cleanse is so valuable, so Luger just instantly drops. We get to watch this one yet again. AJ is level 6 and Poom is not, so that's a good way to start this off for Dignitas. Watch this one yet again. This crowd control, flashing forward with the stun.
And that was actually a nice decision making from JJ. Once Poom committed his crowd control abilities onto JJ, he knew that he could flash right on top, saving the shield, the Daybreak shield into the Soul Flare combo onto Luger. Once Spawn was in range to follow up, and Dignitas in the bottom lane have just been playing extremely well, and it's against a bottom lane that has been given a lot of praise. Once again, Luger getting routed off by JJ and Will. We talked about this duo doing great work in Game 1. It looks like they're continuing up the success in Game 2. Soliga will catch Kenvi out with the Shockwave. Doesn't get a chance to burn the Stormbreaker out to safety. Poom and Ryoma on the run will be able to get out alive, but this Dignitas squad is just running through the map, and they have an Ocean Dragon to pick up as their prize.
AJ's Leona has been very good in the past few games. Well, top lane, though, Lorlo is under fire.
Tactical sweep lands, but Tenacity nicely played. He flashes into the bush, gets the ward down as well, so he doesn't lose vision. How many times, Max, have you lost a 1v1 because you lost vision of the... It's so painful, man. So,
I know
just
you don't have to worry too much because you're playing champions that just get vision in general, like Lee Sin and Nidalee, they get vision. But for me down here at support, we don't have that, so it's a little worse. Dignitas, though, continuing the aggression in the bot side. They do lose that solo kill up top, but it's not going to stop them from taking this dragon.
Dignitas this time did not split dragons against 100 Thieves. They got the first two in their favor. It's going to be a Cloud Soul, so they're 2 away from Soul. Tenacity pushing up into this top turret. Ryoma and Kenvi already preemptively just rotating over to make sure that they can get potentially a full turret swing over in the favor of Tenacity, as Lorlo is completely forced off. He knows that there is no chance for him to be able to contest, and this is going to be a ton of gold being swung into the pockets of Tenacity.
He's going to need it. On the side lane is where 100 Thieves are going to need to stake their claim. You have Tenacity, it will be very powerful, and you can already see that Ryoma's dealing a lot of damage too, so it's going to be hard to contest the Syndra. For 100, skirmishes are not what they want at this stage of the game, and if they keep snowballing in Dignitas' favor, then it's not something that they want ever. Really. Spawn, Will, JJ, and the same champions yet again, popping off yet again. Been very impressed, honestly. Great of ultimates mid.
The good old, hey, I want you to recall. No, you recall.
And then they're both left here. Jungler!
Help!
This guy's low, he doesn't have ults!
Jungler, I'm also low, I need help, please. JJ says, don't worry, I'm not the jungler. I'll support. I will help you.
Jungler, wah!
Honestly, that's just solo queue.
Feed me!
Every time, man. It's why I don't play it anymore.
Reminds me of my cat.
Even if you turn off all chat, the pings come through, and then you have to mute pings, but then it's just like, and what's the point of even playing the game, man? Oh, it's just much credit and props to the Academy players because they still grinds out solo queue, and they have to put up with that. In addition to scrimming and everything, honestly, just a lot of mental endurance and patience it requires from professional players. As, oh no, Luger, Solar Flare, Dragon's Rage, Resonating Strike, not even necessary. DJ has the damage. Kenvi is here for the follow-up and the re-engage and the reinforcements, but they're going to get knocked up into oblivion. Stormbreaker not even going to be enough as JJ picks up the double, looking for the flash Zenith Blade. Then filling himself, goes wide on Ryoma, but now they are routing off Poom from safety. He's got nowhere else to run, nowhere else to go. Might be nice to feed a kill over to Spawn or Soligo instead. Although JJ is going to be extremely tanky now with this influx of gold on the Leona.
Hey, Luger saw them on Vision, didn't they? I thought that's what our observers showed us before, that there was a red ward in the river, but yeah, he still goes down, still not respecting the engage possibilities. Nasty might not be respecting Lorlo either, but at least he's got hook shots, so he can get away with it. Luger, not so lucky, and I really enjoyed the way that Will specifically played this. We do get to watch this again. Check this out. So Will dashes in with the ward, gets the Q, and waits for Luger to use his flash, and gets the resonating strike afterwards. So Luger uses the maximum amount of resources, even though Will knows he's still dead.
And poor Poom just trying to stall as much time as he can as well. The Dignitas, you know, at least through the bottom half of the map, they are very much in position to have a strong potential 2-0 series. Now, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. This is only a 1,000 gold lead for Dignitas. There needs to be a bigger swing, but Ryoma now going to get teleported on by Lorlo here. Looks for the slow, gets the wall up in, is going to be able to get the Mega Gnar ultimate into the wall. Ryoma has nowhere else to go. Soligo picks up that one, and with the dragon spawning about 50 seconds, this will set up Dignitas potentially for the third dragon of the game.
Dignitas are just snowballing this game so well, Rafa. Finding all these picks, doing exactly what their competition needs to do, and again, it's through JJ and Will playing together, playing the map like the perfect partners that they are on the Rift. It's very impressive to me because we've seen the struggles in action for this Dignitas QNTMPAY Academy team. We've seen Will have his ups and downs all throughout the split so far, but to come down to this, where he's found his rhythm and JJ can find his rhythm too, it's really cool.
Kenvi has to use Stormbreaker to try to isolate himself, but Will steals the Rift Herald away. Thank you for the leash, Captain, as he's going to be able to take down the bear. Poom is routed off once again. He has flash, but will he get out alive as the resonating strike connects for Will? It's a double kill for the Lee Sin Master himself. Dignitas, 11 kills to 4. It's only a 2,000, 3,000 gold lead for them, but like you said, Smacks, Dignitas are just snowballing this game so incredibly well. And even if this game doesn't have any real stakes, as the seeding is already determined, it is still awesome to see Dignitas being the quote-unquote 9th seed, being able to have a decent performance against one of the best Academy teams that we have.
The results today don't mean as much for the seeding as they would have liked it to, but for Dignitas QNTMPAY fans out there, and for the team themselves, this is going to feel just so good going into the postseason of the Academy split, knowing that JJ and Will can have these performances if they do link up, giving this team a way to play out the game that they know can be successful if they find plays like this and they find comps like this truly too, because JJ's Leona has been very impressive. Say this is a good priority pick for them to have, and they gave Poom the counter pick too. They gave him whatever champion that he possibly want other than Alistar. Went for the Rel, recently buffed, but the 2v2 kills and the 3vx, really, wherever Will, JJ, and Spawn go. It's super nice.
And then, you know, that is very high praise coming from you, Smacks, because I know you have been skeptical of JJ in the past, in the Academy split. But I agree, JJ has been performing extremely well with Will in this series so far. So Dignitas QNTMPAY, as they look towards the postseason, mainly at the Unified Grand Prix Tier 1 qualifier, that will be starting on August 9th, a couple weeks from now.
Oh.
Dignitas are looking to be an incredibly strong team, despite being one of the bottom Academy teams going into that tournament. And I don't imagine they are going to struggle against many of the semi-pro teams going into that qualifier either.
So strong. They're using that right now to use this Rift Herald to take maybe 3 turrets in a row.
Holy crap.
Very efficient use of this objective, Rafa. Have you ever seen this?
Dignitas are just playing the map incredibly well. Tenacity is trying to do his best along with Ryoma to split and get objectives and advantages on the other side. They were able to take down the first tier turret on the top half of the map, I believe, or at least knock it down completely. Tenacity got some chip damage onto the tier 2 turret. But Dignitas have almost completely opened up the map here. No turrets in the mid lane now for 100 Thieves to be able to defend themselves with, as Will being able to take the trades in the 1v1 onto Kenvi now, as he does have a slight item component advantage. 3-1-3 on the Lee Sin once again.
Envy can't 1v1 Lee Sin on this Volibear with Divine Sunderer, then that is very bad news for what he can do in the team fights, because if you look at this build that Kenvy's gone for, it's very oriented on single target damage and not really trying to tank anything up. He does now have the Bramble Vest, so he can reduce the healing, but he's just trying to isolate one target and kill them before he himself dies. But isolated trades against Will like that, not what you want to see. It's not going to be a confidence booster, to say the least, as Dignitas still have a gigantic lead. They still have these 3 dragons that they're sitting on, waiting for that 4th one to spawn so they can potentially get that full soul sweep.
2.5 minutes from now will be when the potential Cloud Soul spawns. Dignitas still have to sweep out some of the vision that 100 Thieves have taken the time to put down in this barren pit and the river around it. As Laurel continuing the split push on the bottom side of the map, this will buy them an opportunity to get some vision control in the bottom quadrant as they prepare for their potential last dragon take and into claiming and securing Soul. Kenvi waiting in the wings along with Poom in case a dive occurs. Doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Definitely thinking about it. And 100 Thieves have to be thinking about it too, because JJ can just press R and instantly they have to be scared. He's very far forward right now, though, and he doesn't miss it.
Okay, Magnus Storm and a Hexic Ultimatum is able to dodge out on the Solar Flare. 100 Thieves,
Oh!
but Lorlo again and again finds the Meganar ulti of them all. Is able to slam 4 into the wall. They take down 2. Luger and Poom fall by the wayside. And Dignitas are able to take their leave, not dropping a single meter, and they are going to run straight to the Baron.
He does it again! The low! The Gnar ultimate scooping everyone against the wall. My word, Rafa! This guy can do no wrong on the Gnar. Those team fights for Dignitas. It seems like every single member on this team is put to the best highlight that their skill set allows them to in games like this. Snowball from early game, the team fights. And now Lorlo gets to do it again?
Potentially. He slams 2 into the wall, and the rest of Dignitas are ready to follow up. They drop the Baron, but they're going to find the kill onto Poom just as he just barely respawned. And with Kenvi gone, there's no potential for a smite. 50-50. They will drop JJ, but it's a triple kill for Spawn as Will chases off the remaining members of 100 Thieves. They're going to return straight to the Baron once again.
Not sure if they can start this one up. They do have the Ballista Ren, so they'll be able to do it if they can stack all those spears, but there are a lot of wards here, so they will be on vision the entire time. They're feeling confident, though, and I can't blame them after a fight like that. They took down all these members. Nobody on 100 Thieves is going to respond, and instead they will deny away the Cloud Soul. A nice play from 100, but Dignitas are still crazy lead.
About a 6,000 gold lead for Dignitas. You look at Spawn, man. This dude is Yeah, I mean, he was set up for success thanks to JJ and Will, but he's been so huge in being able to pull up the damage. And I think one of the things we don't get to talk a lot about is Spawn's journey. When we first saw Spawn in the semi-pro scene, he was on Polar Ace, and he was kind of made as a player to not receive that many resources. He was mainly on Ashe duty, and that's why he made a name for himself on that pick, because he had to get so damn good at it. And then on the Mountain team for Scouting Grounds in 2020, that team was not set up at all for success because it was mainly a bunch of players that normally don't receive resources, so they couldn't figure out which player to receive the majority of the resources from. But Spawn, over the course of 2021 on this Dignitas roster, has had a lot of growth. He's improved so much, and now he's performing extremely well on a pick like Callista, which is the extreme opposite of what we first came to know Spawn for. So it's awesome to see after a year's worth of a journey for Spawn.
Spawn's mechanics have never been in question, but it's really hard to make a name for yourself in that space of the Proving Grounds and Scouting Grounds as it once was, if you're not the center of attention. JJ's going straight forward.
Ryoma's the center of attention now, and Will finds the kickback, and goodbye, Ryoma! 100 Thieves, they're on the run. Dignitas, they're on the chase, and they're still continuing the aggression forward. They find Luger forcing the peel and the flash. Will falling up forward onto Poom as Tenacity trying to find the 1v1, but gets routed off in a 1v2. And the rest of the members of Dignitas QNTMPAY are ready to assist as 100 Thieves, their backs against the wall. They cannot defend, and Dignitas are ready to take a 2-0 against 100 Thieves.
In the last series of the Academy regular split, no less, Rafa, Dignitas QNTMPAY turn it on at the last possible second. They're already out of the playoffs, but they don't care at all. They have come to win games, and that's exactly what they do against 100 Thieves Academy. A 2-0 sweep for Dignitas.
Wow. That's just awesome. You know, like we said before, you know, the last game didn't hold any more stakes, but still, that's an awesome thing for Dignitas to be able to say, hey, we beat one of the... We not only took a game off them, we performed a 2-0 against one of the best Academy teams in the summer split. And so...
Played it their style.
Yeah, and they played it their way, too. And I think the best thing about it all is when we go back to what Invert said, the goal for being able to facilitate and integrate Will and get him up to speed while also allowing him to feel comfortable and play towards what he is, his natural play style. This is a great showing, and I think this is a great sign of things to come when the Unified Grand Prix starts if you are a Dignitas fan.
Playing around your rookie jungler, this heavily mechanical player, is something that I already highlighted as being a very good thing to have on your squad, and Dignitas showing that it can work, showing that it does work when they have Will on comfort, they have him calling the shots, making the plays, going aggressive, getting a 2-0 against one of the top teams in the split. What a way to make a statement. What a way to open off their journey into the rest of the postseason as well. Hats off to Will, or I guess in my case, Earth heads off. I'm still wearing this onesie. And the rest of Dignitas as we round out our last set of games with really nice aggressive play.
And I think if you're not only a Dignitas fan, that this is a heartwarming sign to see for Dignitas Academy, but also if you've been following the LCS, the LCS squad has been able to find wins as well amidst, you know, roster decisions that the public eye maybe have questioned. I know I did. And, you know, having Acadian step up and having to find a new jungler and stepping into play, having Soligo swap out for Yusui as well for the LCS split. And then we get to see cool things like Acadian 1v9ing on Kayn jungle in LCS, Yusui pulling out the Kindred mid as well. Like, there's a lot of exciting things to look forward to, and, you know, I think it's awesome for the Dignitas org to be able to find some good things out of what, you know, has been, for the most part, a rough summer split. And to congratulate Dignitas on their 2-0 sweep over 100 Thieves and ending out the regular season. We have Will, the prodigy jungler himself, who had a massive game, 2 games on Lee Sin. First of all, Will, congrats. Sick moves on the Lee Sin. My first question for you, man, is how has the journey and the facilitation of coming onto this roster since you were first introduced 2-3 weeks ago?
Well, first thing is coming here in person. It's been a lot different. I think it's been a lot more fun coming here in person. Like I've been here for the past 10 days, and this made the whole experience a lot better. I think when you're playing at home compared to playing here, meeting everyone, and it's just a lot more fun.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that you were playing remote up until that long ago, so that's really cool. I'm glad to see you're finding success with your squad in person. I'm actually curious, do you happen to have like a stream that you do where you provide Lee Sin coaching? Because I have a friend that might want to partake in that one. He's right next to me here. I'm curious. I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/playemotional. That's it.
All
Nice.
right.
Got the plug. All right, good.
Let's go. Okay. So another question I have to you, this is it's a great way to end off the regular season. You will be getting ready for the Unified Grand Prix. Now, what are some of the things that now that you're in person have been easier to integrate and build upon in terms of team skills, whether it's macro, communication, or even just setup plays with your coach?
I think like for one thing, like say we want to improve communication, it's been a lot easier because you can actually like see like how people feel and you can like understand like what they're going through. Like say you int and you can just tell they're like really tilted, then you can really understand more about it instead of like if you're just at home, you can't really tell that they're like that tilted, you know? So you can pick up on more details, so it's easier to learn, basically.
That's really interesting. With your teammate Spawn, he seems very stoic and very just like kind of angry face all the time. Is he easy to read in that same way, or do you have no idea?
Yeah, I mean, like he won't hesitate to complain if he's weak side or something. If he's weak side Callista, he won't hesitate to say something. So
come gank my lane, bro. I'm Callista, please. Before we let you go, Will, are there any other shout-outs that you would like to give, whether it's, for your socials or for any teammates or family friends?
I just like to shout out Dig Facility, like everyone at Dignitas, and helped me out a lot the past couple weeks, so a shout out to them. That's about it for me.
Awesome. Thank you again, Will. Congratulations, and we'll see you soon in Unified Grand Prix, bud.
All right, thank you guys.
That's cool, and I think that makes a lot of sense as well. Excuse me, Smacks. I promise I'm not tearing up. I actually like there's a fly that flew into my eye, so I know I am
you do look like
known.
A bee.
Yeah. I know I'm known for sometimes getting emotional on stream. I promise this is not one of those moments. I literally got so I might just have to squint a lot because my eyes are in severe pain right now.
Just pull the hood down. Just look into the bee face. Here, I'll do it too. All right, there we go. Now we're
you can't see me now.
Now we're truly.
I'm
Robbie
John Cena, Lust Boy, baby. But I think it is cool to know that Will was playing remote because it's just like Immortals Academy, not being there with the team makes a world of difference. And now I think we got to see that change in this series against 100 Thieves because the communication and the coordination between Will and JJ was far more executed than it was in the past, right? There's still obviously things that they can work on, but it was strong enough to get a 2-0 against one of the best Academy teams, and I think it just means that we have exciting things in store as we look towards post-Academy season here, whether it's for Academy playoffs, for the top 6, or for Unified Grand Prix for the other 4 Academy teams that will be competing there to get a chance to compete in Proving Grounds in September.
And what a way to close out the regular season, too, with 5-2-0 series on this day. Pretty astounding. I don't actually know if that's happened in the entire rest of the season, but sure happened today. Huge congratulations to Dignitas. I'm excited to see more of them in Unified. And yeah, like you said, if anyone's out there and wanting to watch the Academy postseason, it'll very likely be on this very channel over the course of the next few weeks.
Yep.
And Proving Grounds ends, I believe, in September, so we've got a few months left ahead of us for the postseason for these guys. Lots of action to come.
And on top of that, even after Proving Grounds ends in September, Smacks, once Worlds is finished in October, and I'm going to take
Grounds. Yeah.
We've got Scouting Grounds in November, which will take the top 2 semi-pro teams worth of rosters from Proving Grounds, and the other top 10 players from solo queue in their respective roles. I'm really sorry that I'm closing my eyes a lot. I don't know why my eyes are hurting right now.
It's been a long day, you know. We've been casting for a while. Thanks for watching, everyone. By the way, it's been very fun. Thanks for putting up with our shenanigans on the
yeah,
the onesie.
And honestly, we had to bust these out just for the last regular day of the season. We never do this. At least put these on. We usually are dressed much more appropriate for Academy, but we had a surprise. We felt it was the one-time pass, right? But before we close out today's stream, and I'm gonna try to get through this without squinting, but it means a lot that there's been a lot of support for the Academy season, and for semi-pro, and for the overall Proving Ground circuit from the entire community, because this has been by far the most exciting year for Academy, because now there's a bridge between semi-pro amateur play and the Academy teams, and it means that there's real stakes on the line, and there's so many exciting storylines getting to see domestic talent come up through the NA pipeline that didn't have anywhere near the support and facilitation as it does now. There's still many things that we can do to work on to continue supporting and setting up the foundation of NA so that we can have a strong farm system and pipeline of being able to help young players like Will, young players like NXI, KenV, who are all coming from semi-pro scene and then into eventually Academy, and then hopefully one day LCS, and being able to represent NA on the domestic stage and hopefully make a push for international stage as well. That is the one thing that we want to encourage and support the most. And between myself, Smacks, and the rest of the Academy caster staff, this has been our goal to always put forth the best broadcast possible in showing the best possible light for these players. We want to build them up. I'm going to quote my friend Cubby. We are like a ship with a rising tide. We want to build everyone up. We don't want to tear people down. We want to show that everyone has value and that we all have something to work towards and to learn from. And I feel like this has been the best split of the Academy so far, reflecting that there is so much great domestic talent that can be cultivated and facilitated and shown that they can grow. And we've seen it happen on the LCS stage when FlyQuest Academy got their chance to get massive performances on stage. So thank you so much to the entire community, to all the audience that tuned in and supported the Academy and semi-pro scene. Please continue watching for Proving Grounds, whether it's the Academy playoffs or for Unified Grand Prix and then the eventual Proving Grounds tournament. On behalf of everyone, thank you so much. Have a good night.